Starting. All right. I have to find out what I always have to wait. It takes so long. There we go. Finally, the recording sign comes up. One of these days, I'll figure out exactly when it's starting. Okay, I'm going to ask everyone to mute themselves as well, and then we'll just get going. For those of you that have are watching the archive or haven't joined in before, my name is Trevor Beck. I'm with our Technology Services department, and we're going to be showing. I'm going to be playing some show and tell, and then we're going to have like some time for some Q&A afterwards. So let me start by sharing my screen. I'm going to be doing some jumping back and forth, so bear with me. So here's our agenda. We're going to look at really quickly on Webex. A couple of weeks ago, I showed you how you can put your head and have it kind of down in the bottom corner. I actually should have done that for this. Let me see if I can now. There we go. So that looks something like this. So Webex also now has that. So I'm just going to show you really briefly what that is. We're going to talk about how to convert and download files that you store in Google Drive. So you can create, I prefer to create my documents in Google Doc, but sometimes when I share those files out, I may want the person to download them into different formats, so PDF or whatever. You can do that through the file menu, but you can also do it by the link you create. And so for those of you that are teaching, if you want your students to make a copy of the file or download it, I'm going to show you some cool tricks on that. We'll talk about how to get your vaccine record up on your iPhone device. Not too much. I did a tutorial on it, so I'll just point to you at that. And then I'm going to show you something really cool. I am part of Microsoft's public preview, so I get advanced access to some of the toys and stuff. I normally wouldn't show this kind of stuff off until it's actually available to all of us, but I want you guys to see what's coming down the pipe and then think of how you can take advantage of it. For those that are doing teaching, you'll understand what I'm talking about. So let's start off with the Webex. I'm going to bring up my Webex screen here, and I'm just going to go into a meeting. Come on, create my meeting. Oh, stop that. I just launched you. Now you're taking your time. It's coming. Be patient. So let's just start the meeting here. This is always fun having Microsoft and Webex trying to share video at the same time. But when you go, so here, this is my Webex window. So when you go into share now, there is a link here that says show me in front of presentation. And just like what you're seeing right now on Teams, when I go do this, this is going to be, so I'm going to share for the heck of it. Let's just share that window, which is my main screen. And then you should see me in front of this section over here. So you might see it twice because I'll actually, let me just get rid of that from the Microsoft side. There we go. Not sure what that's going to look like, but this is Webex now. So you should be able to see me in the bottom corner. The nice thing about it is I can move my icon around while I'm in Webex. So this is my Webex window. And when I click on this, come on, I can also resize it. So it'll be nice when Webex has some shortcut keys, so I can just quickly throw this in one corner or the other, or resize it like some of the other apps are. But you can have this presenter mode, as they call it, in here. So that's now available in Webex. Webex, when you record it, this screen of me is just an icon in the top right-hand corner, and you show the whole screen as a video screening. Microsoft in Teams, when you do that presentation mode, it also keeps me down in the film strip at the bottom there with all the little heads and just shares the screen. So the recordings don't yet reflect the presentation mode. Presentation mode is only going to be visible when someone is watching the presentation. So that's just something to be aware of. I was trying to do some recording and was like, oh, this is kind of sucks, because I wanted to have, my head down here and stuff like that. And it wouldn't do that. Okay, so I'm going to just get out of this meeting now, and then we'll go to the next item. In my meeting, there we go, get rid of that. And just for the heck of it, I'm going to put this back on because it's fun. All right, so what I want to talk about this time, though, is converting and downloading files from Google Drive. So there are two documents here that are really, really good. And the idea is I have a file that I have stored in Google Drive. So let me just open the screen up a little bit. And let me just open up another window here real quickly. I just want to make sure that I have everything that I need. That's good enough. Okay, so in here, you can see that this is the normal link that I would use for someone to open up the document that we work on, this technology drop-in. So that's it ends in an edit. If you have edit access, you can edit. If you don't have edit access, you can view. But if I was an instructor, I might say, you know what, I want you to take this document, I want you to make a copy of it or something. So here are some tricks that can be done. The first one is the link preview. So we're still working with this document here. Notice how we've got the information up top with the menu bars and stuff. But sometimes I create something that's going to be a public handout. I don't want all that stuff up there, even if they're a Google person. So I actually go in, and where it says edit, you can put in all these different endings. So in this case, I'm going to put in preview. So now when I open this, or when somebody clicks on this link, they're going to see that same document. Whoa, did I hit the wrong one? Come on, that's not what's supposed to happen. I'll just show you. So up top here where it says edit, I'm just going to replace that with preview. And what it does is display that same document, but look, no menu bars. So it's just like a piece of paper. So when I do flyers and stuff that are going to be available to Joe Public, I will often use this preview link instead. It's just a different way of looking at the document, because I could go in and make changes to the documents and update it. The moment that they come back and refresh this page, it's going to be updated. So it's still connected to the original document. All right, I'm just going to lower or reduce the size here so I can make sure I'm clicking on the right stuff. As a faculty member, I might have this document that I want the students to make a copy of. Well, they could go and open this up. They can go under File. They can make a copy and do all that. But by replacing that edit with the word copy, does exactly all that. So I'm going to go into here and open this document, and it automatically says, hey, do you want to make a copy of Trevor's Technology Drop-In Thursdays? So whatever the file is. So the student doesn't even have to open up. It's automatically going to make a copy and drop it into their My Drive of their Google Drive. So it'll be at the top level, but bang, it's already done. So that way, as you're creating these documents in Blackboard, you can just put these links in and say, make a copy of this template and blah, blah, blah. You don't have to have them open it up, make a copy, et cetera, et cetera. Another link similar to that is called template and preview. So notice with copy, you don't get to see what it looks like. You're just going to go ahead and make a copy of it. Sometimes you might have a document that you want people to see it first before they actually open it up. So this one here is called template and preview. It does pretty much the same thing in the sense that here's a preview of what you're seeing, and when you click on use template, it will make a copy of that. So I get to preview it before I make the copy. That's template/preview. One thing to note, the changes, two things that are different, is when I use the template and create it, it's going to have a file name called Technology Drop-In Thursday Agenda. So it's going to have the exact same file name when I use the template piece. If I use copy, it's going to say copy of Technology Drop-In Thursday. So it's actually have the word copy of at the beginning of the file name. So just a couple things to keep in mind there. Now, sometimes I create documents, but I need to download them in a Word format or a PDF format because people want it that way. So rather than my going in and saving it as, I can use the same command here. And at the end here, I put export, and then what format do you want? So in this case, I'm working with a Google Doc. Spreadsheets and Slides has its own different ways of doing it. And that's all documented in those two links that we shared at. But I'm just going to show you here, export format. If I click on this, and then I'm going to go into my, bring my downloads folder here. So here's my downloads folder. Hello, here we go. And take a look here. It's going to save it as a PDF. Okay, so I will, where the heck is this? This is, there we are. So I'll save that there. And up top here, sure enough, Technology Drop-In as a PDF. Now I'm going to do the same thing, but this time it's going to be as a Microsoft Word document. Will it show the suffix? Nope, so I'll save it again. And once it's done here, there we go, agendas.docx. So there's lots of great ways that you can still keep and work in your files in Google Land, but then when you need to convert them or you need to make copies or use them as a template, you can use these links here to do that. I'm just going to quickly check and see if I got any questions on that because I always have. Oh, okay. All right then. So that's my links in there. Vaccine record on the iPhone. All right, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail in it, but I'm just going to show you that on my tech tip, there's a piece here on how to create a shortcut for your vaccine record. So what most people will do, they'll download their vaccine record, and this could be the QR code that we get from McEwen. It could also be your vaccine record from Alberta Health. But what you can do is once you've got that on your screen, take a snapshot of it, and that gets saved to Photos. Once it's in Photos, we're then going to go and create a folder, or sorry, an album, and put our stuff in there. Now, you can also create a shared album if you want. So, for example, for my family, I have one album. I put all the photos of everyone's records in there, and that way I have access and everyone else has access to all of our records, so it doesn't matter. What's nice about this is using iPhone shortcuts, which is an application that's in there. It basically is a script, and it's really, really easy to do. But what you end up with is there's going to be an icon that ends up on your desktop. When you tap that icon, it's automatically going to go into your photos, find the right files, photo, and display that. So you click on that, bang, there's your QR code or your records, bang, right there. So you don't have to go digging through your photos. That's especially becomes a pain because if I take pictures and then I go on a trip and I have 100 pictures, I have to scroll back 100 things to find it. This way, you tap on this thing once, bang, it's gone. So I really recommend if you're interested in saving yourself some time, take a look at the document there. There's a whole bunch of the documentations there. I also created a video that works its way through. Take a look at that. I've already found it so useful, just being able to pull that up really quickly and not having to go looking for it. So that's vaccine records. Again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that because there's a video available. All right, here's my favorite part. So when, as I mentioned before a while ago, I ended up getting on the public preview for our hang on a second, for Microsoft Teams, which means I get a chance to see some of this stuff that's coming out a little bit ahead of time of everyone else. One of the things that there just came out in the public preview, and hopefully in the next few months we'll see that for the rest of the world, is the ability to use your camera to share a certain item. So here's my scenario. Let's say that I am, let me just turn my background off because that'll help too. Turn off background. Just turn it off. All right, so I have my green screen and you'll see why in a sec. So here's my background or my classroom. If I'm in a classroom and I have a whiteboard up there and I start writing in front of the whiteboard, students often will say, hey, Trevor, you're blocking. Can you move over so I can see what you're looking at? Or when you're trying to do a screen share like a camera like I am, if I work in a classroom on a whiteboard and I'm writing, you're not going to be able to see what I'm writing very easily. So Microsoft has this function coming out on how to share in Teams a whiteboard. So what I'm going to do here, I've got this whiteboard here. Pretend this is at the front of a class. Come on, be nice. Here we are. And I'll bring this forward. So I'm going to start this process to have this share. What the camera does, and I can't show it to you because I'm doing a screen share, but there's a section called Content from a Camera. So it basically says, hey, I know you want to share something. We're going to use your camera to share it. So we'll put this in, and it's going to look for a whiteboard. So hopefully what will happen here, it's going to analyze everything in a second. It's looking for a whiteboard. It's scanning right now. Come on. Come on. Oh, I think I just about had it. There you go. Close enough. All right, I'm going to share this here. So hopefully you guys can see this. Can someone give me a yay? You can see what's going on right now?
Yep, can see.
All right, perfect. So imagine this is me at the classroom. I get my felt marker and I start to write on it. Normally I'm way over here, but I can only do so much. Is that working? And if I go in front of it, nope, hang on a second. Something must have got clicked off. Try that again. No, overlay presenter, why aren't you working? Oh, this was working 5 minutes ago. Imagine if you will, and I have a video to show it, to demonstrate it. But what happens is, as I go across this way, Microsoft takes a snapshot of that. And it keeps taking snapshots of this stuff. And as I come forward over top of it, it overlays that text on top of me. So you never actually get blocked. I'm going to try this one more time because it is just way too cool. Let's try it one more time. whiteboard. Hang on, hang on. Oh, there's a reflection from my window. It's messing it up. Okay, let's try this. Here we go. There we go. All right, so you can see where this is. Notice when I put my hand in front of it or I stand in front of it, you can see what's being written. So imagine I'm on the whiteboard again. Go home to wherever. It's going to grab that screenshot of that so that the next time I go to the next line, you can still be writing your notes down while I write down the next thing that I'm writing down. So that is a great function when we get back into the classrooms, when we want to share our screens and stuff like that, that you can continue writing without blocking. Because I used to remember doing that too, is, you know, hey, whoever is writing, I can't see because you're blocking it. That's kind of a cool thing for it to do. That's the team sharing of whiteboards, and that's good. And they also have the ability to use the document cameras. So there's some of the classes have the doc cameras. Same thing. Excuse me. As I'm writing, it captures that. Then my hand gets faded through, and you can still see what was written previously. That's that demo. That's pretty much it for today. Anybody? So I got one question here. So let me just pull that up. See what we got. Aaron's, you did this yesterday. Okay, which are we talking about? The the Sharpie stuff. All right. Yeah.
No, I was talking about the vaccine record.
Oh,
I did
okay.
it when you guys sent it out yesterday, and it worked perfectly. So.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. Does anyone have any questions on anything we talked about today?
I do have a question.
Sure.
When you were talking about converting the files from Google Drive, I was trying to click on the links in the drop-in archive agenda thing, and it says I need to open an app, like to download a different app to open those links.
Which link were you talking about?
The one that says convert and download files from Google Drive, and then it has the.
Oh, okay. So I'm just hang on. So I was just those are just that one. The first one's a Word doc or a web page, and the second one. Both of them are web pages. So I'm not sure why it's.
That's weird. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can puzzle that out afterwards. I will get you the original, like the original web pages, and just put those into the chat, so you can have them without the bit.ly in there. Anything else? Anyone else got a question? Okay. I'm going to turn off recording, and then we can chat some more for those that want to chat.